Have you ever considered joining the New Zealand Defence Force? Have you been a member of the New Zealand Defence Force? Well, I'm sure there was probably some advertising regime to promote joining at some point in your life, and it probably tickled your fancy to some degree. Now, given where global tensions are, albeit died down a little bit relative to this time last year, thanks to Trump, given that we do need people in our defence force to serve some function, given one day we may very well need to mobilise them for our own defence, don't you think it would be beneficial that they are competent and that people are actually encouraged to join? Because if they're not competent and people don't want to join, then where's that leave us? How are they going to fare when we have a natural disaster which needs a lot of people mobilised to help clean up and ensure people are safe, keep public order? What's going to happen if, heaven forbid, there was some crazy invasion and some, a very far-fetched hypothetical? Who's going to defend us? Is it going to be these incompetent DEI hires? Because as far as I'm concerned, what our Defence Force thinks is a good promotion to join them is nothing short of a joke, and it would be the last thing that encouraged me to join the New Zealand Defence Force.
New Zealand Defence Force is really stepping up its commitment to gender equity. From the top of the organisation down, it's been adopting pledges to treat women well, to be more inclusive, and they are world leading in adopting such commitments.
And by actually having our senior people sign a gender equality charter, we're actually saying we are committed and we will be held accountable for our actions.
The charter itself is accompanied by a workshop, so it's not just a sign and go. People are actually thinking about what can they do, what's going on for their people, how can they support everyone having a good experience of the organisation and everyone getting their unique needs met.
Thanks to the Red Beta for putting that together for us. Now, I want to just note this, right? Nina Russell, Directorate, Diversity and Inclusion. The fact that that exists is the problem here. I don't have an issue with women wanting to join the Defence Force. That's fine. But if you're doing it and you're inflating the numbers of women based on a charter, a charter where you're agreeing to have X amount or to reach certain equality and equity goals, certain inclusion goals, then you're missing the point. Because we need every single person that wants to contribute to the Defence Force to do this. The last thing you want, if you are someone that values your life, is to be told that you are going to be joining a Defence Force which hires people or encourages hiring of people or encourages people joining based not on their competency, but based on being a woman or being a certain ethnicity, this or that. And whilst this clip primarily focuses on women, it's diversity and inclusion director here, we all know what that means. It goes far beyond just women. And so the last thing I would want, right, if I'm getting shipped off to a battlefield, is to know that if I were to, let's say, lose a leg, that the person next to me isn't able to drag me away, isn't able to put me on their shoulders and pull me out so that I can retain my life. The last thing I want is to know that if I'm in a situation where there is hand-to-hand combat with 3 men and there's 3 of us, but 1 bloke and 2 women, that we're at an inherent disadvantage. That's the last thing I'd want. So, while sure, there are many, many competent women who contribute to our Defence Force and play a role, if you are a man who wants to go into our Defence Force to defend our country and play the roles within it, the last thing you want is to feel like they are prioritising equity, diversity, and inclusion over your safety and over competency and over getting the job done with your life in mind. Because this is a career pathway which will put your life at risk in some capacity. If you feel like your life is not being prioritized, then why would you join? Because clearly they care more about these equity goals than they do about you, than they do about the defense of this country. And if I don't feel like this is contributing to the interests of the country, why would I contribute to it? They care more for adhering to woke ideologies than they do the country. And that's enough for me.